Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to day 9 of the 12 cast ons of Christmas. No, day 10. Day 10 of the 12 cast ons of Christmas. I did day 9 yesterday. Oh my goodness. My name is Kirsty, and welcome to Kirsty Knits and Sews. This is a small series that I'm doing as part of the cast on party that Ange of Yarn and Yards is hosting, where you start up to 12 projects between the 24th of December and the 31st of January the following year. She has a whole video on it if you want to go check it out and learn more about it. This is day 10 of 12 cast ons for me. I've been doing it at 12 projects day after day. I did take New Year's Eve off this year, so it'll be 12 projects in 13 days for me. And I have not pre-planned them. For me, everyone does it differently, but what I'm doing is I have put 24 projects in this bowl, and every day I'm just picking one out and casting on whatever it says. I really enjoy the element of surprise. It gives me something to look forward to every morning, waking up not quite sure what I'm doing. Apparently words are a little bit hard today. So yeah, it just kind of gives me a little boost to get up in the morning, to get going. And I realized this morning, it also is really great at a time of year where I'm tempted to just wear pajamas all day. Doing my hair is a great thing because I, do my hair quickly before I jump on here. And so every morning I am excited to get ready for the day because it means that I get to pick out my new project. Anyway, so let's find out what I'm going to be casting on today. All right. Oh, before I show you what is on this paper, I am wearing my Advent dress that I knit for the 2024 Advent swap that I did, or with the 2024 Advent swap that I did. There's no pattern. I was making it up as I went, and it's a raglan top down where I just did striping and some increases around the waist. If you're interested to do something similar, it's very simple to just take a raglan sweater and adjust it to make this. But I did hold fingering weight double with mohair throughout to get the fuzzy and the softer colours. And I was going to wear a different jumper today, but my daughter put on her Advent dress and she said, "Mummy, can you wear your one too?" I was like, "Yes, I can. Yes, I can." So I'm wearing my Advent dress again today. All right, let's find out what I'm starting today. All right, we got socks. We got socks, everyone. Alert, alert, we got socks. Ange, for her day 1, cast on 12 pairs of socks. Well, cast on, I think, 4 pairs of socks as part of it, 12 pairs that were one cast on for her day 1. And I had, I think, 2 pairs of socks, 2 sock items in here, and it's day 10, and I've picked out my first one. And honestly, when I put this in, I was a little bit, do I want to, do I not? And then after seeing Ange's one, I was like, I am so happy that I put this in and I hope I pick it out. So these are some socks that I've bought the pattern for. Actually, the sheep one I think is a free one. The foxes and acorn are both by Stone Knits, who has Charming Colourwork socks and Joyful Colourwork socks, I think is what they're called. I have Charming, I don't have Joyful. It is on my list. I borrowed, wow, I had coffee, can you tell? I borrowed Joyful Colourwork socks from the library because I own Charming, and I was like, I'll just have a look and see, because you can see on Ravelry what patterns there are. I was like, maybe I'll make 1 or 2 from, like, when I've rented it from the library, but it was a digital copy. And I started looking through it and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to make any from a digital copy. I'm not someone who enjoys working from a phone when I'm knitting. I prefer books or printouts or whatever. And I was like, and there's a lot of socks in here that I actually just want to make. So that's on my wish list to buy Joyful Colourwork socks. But I have not bought it yet. So the foxes and the acorns ones, they're not actually in either of the books. They're some of her independently published patterns, and I have bought both of them already. The sheep one was a free one, and I will put a picture up and obviously link below all of these patterns that I'm talking about so you can find them if you're interested. And I was thinking for this, I'd like to put some kind of colourwork sock in here, but I couldn't figure out which one. And then I was like, maybe I'll just do all 3. And foxes and acorns were on last year's list, and then I added sheep because that's a pattern that I found since then. There's also a gnome pair of socks that came out around Christmas time that is free. But what I'm going to do with this is not just start socks. I don't know how many I'm actually going to start today. Oh, I'm so excited. But I'm going to turn these into Christmas socks because without giving too much away, I was thinking of these as presents for people. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to figure out how many pairs of socks I want to knit for next year's Christmas. And then I'm going to make that my day, what did I say, day 10, 12 cast ons. It's January 5 as I'm recording this, by the way. So that's going to be my day 10 cast on. And I'm going to try and start a few pairs today. And so what I'll probably do is I might do some plain socks, I might do some pattern socks, and I might do some colourwork socks. And if I start 3 pairs today, say, and try and have those going as I go through. I do have, I think I will probably do colourwork 9-inch circular. I did start colourwork with the double pointed needles, DPNs, earlier this cast on, and I enjoyed it, but I'm not quite sure the tension is right. And because socks is a little bit harder, I think I'll keep working on that one with DPNs because that's mittens for an advent. You don't need good tension necessarily. But for socks, I think I'll stick with my 9-inch circulars and I will go find them and see. Oh, I am so excited this came up. So how do I even do this? Because I didn't keep out yarn for these because I wasn't sure which one I was going to start. So I'm going to have a little think. I'm going to grab out my scrap box, which is behind me under my desk. And I figure contrast colours will probably come out of there anyway. I'm going to have a look at the patterns and see what kind of base colour I want to use. And I will go grab my sock yarn. I do have an entire tub full of sock yarn. So I might go have a look at that and see what is going to work with this. All right, I will check back in once I've done a little bit of research and planning, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. All right, I've done some sorting and some planning and some looking, and I am so excited. I have pulled out, and this is a little bit ridiculous, I have pulled out 5 socks to start today. Now, will I get them all started? I'm not sure. We are going to town, but I'm going to try. 4 of them I can start straight away. 1 of them I need to cake yarn. So that one may get pushed, but we'll see. The reason I've chosen 5 is that there are 15 socks that I want to get done by next Christmas. Now, if you tell me 15 pairs of socks is more than 1 a month, then I go, oh, that's unlikely to happen. However, I counted, and last year, spoiler, if I've counted right, I knit 23 pairs of socks. That's almost 2 pairs a month. And the last one I finished like 2 days ago. So I kind of knit 24 pairs last year, 2 pairs a month. So 15 in a year is completely doable for me while I still make everything else I want to make, which is good to know. So 15 pairs of socks by next Christmas seems a little crazy when I say it all at once, but when I think of doing it over the year rather than all at once at the end, it sounds pretty good. But because this is meant to be 12 cast-ons, even grouping things together, I thought I want to get a fair chunk of them started today. So I thought if I start 5, then that's a third of the total, and that seems pretty reasonable. If I started, say, 1 today out of 15, then that's kind of making it its own little thing. But if I start a lot today, then for me, it feels more like it can be counted as one project. So here's what I've done. I've written a list, which I'm not going to share with you because people who watch this will be getting presents. But I've looked at them, and the ones that I've got today to start, I've got 2 Christmas themed ones. I have 2 colorwork ones, the foxes and the squirrels that I mentioned before. And I have another one which I am going to look for a pattern for. So the one I'm going to look for a pattern for is this one. It's from Black Wattle Yarn and Fibre, and it is called Stringy Bark is the colour name. It's based on a tree in Australia. And this tree, if it's the one I'm thinking of, is amazing because at some times of the year it'll be a really bright orange colour, sometimes it'll be a pink colour, sometimes it'll be a more pale colour, and it just depends on what time of the year you see it. However, I'm saying this hesitantly because my dad is a tree expert and he is an artist who paints trees. And so if I've got the wrong one and it's not stringy bark that goes orange, he will tell me. And then I will put a note somewhere. But I'm pretty sure this is the one that goes orange on a cycle, like every 3 years it is orange. Because otherwise I'm not sure why they would have put the orange in with this set. It is truly an amazing tree. So yes, I want to see if I can get a pattern for this, and I thought I have 52 weeks of socks. It was a gift from my sister and her family a few years ago, and I've only knit, I want to say I've only knit 1 sock from that book because I was going to knit through them from the beginning to end, and then she knit the second sock in the book and had a bit of trouble with it, so then I was a bit scared to cast it on. So I thought this is a good chance to pick a different sock, move our way from the I need to knit it from beginning to end, and just make a nice pattern sock with that one. For the squirrel socks, I have picked these colours. So this will be the squirrel. In the pattern, it's a brown squirrel, but I'm going to do a bit more of a red squirrel. And it has a cream background. Now this, I've probably only got 25, 30 grams of the cream, which is not going to be enough for the main colour of the sock. So I'm going to have to think about that. But if I at least do part of it with that and the same in both socks, it should work. I have plenty of this one, which is a hobby sock yarn. Here we go. It's Hobby Silly Sock Superwash 75-25. And this is colour 10. There you go. I had it all caked up to start a while ago. I never actually started it, so I thought that's a good one to use for this. And so that's going to be the leaf colour. I realised I've been calling them acorn socks, but I don't know if there's actually any acorns on the socks. They're squirrels and leaves, so we'll see. And then the final colour that I have is this one. And I don't know, because it's only a 3-colour sock, I don't know how I'm going to incorporate this one, whether I'm going to do the foot in this colour and keep this as the colourwork background, or whether when I get to the foot, I'll just stripe this one and maybe use this one for the heel and toe. I'm not quite sure. The pattern itself, I think, has a plain foot and then a bit more colourwork before the toe. But what I may do is do, like say, cuff, colourwork in these 3, heel, foot in this one, toe, and then, yeah, I'm going to play around with it. We'll see. The next colourwork one that I've pulled yarn out for, I've got a similar kind of vibe going in that I've pulled out 4 colours. The pattern has 3 colours. So it has pine trees, it has the foxes. I should double check. It's probably got a bit of white for detailing on the fox's face that I didn't even look at. And then it had a pale colour for the background of the sock. And then the foot has some, not striping, some spots in the 2 contrast colours over the background colour. I don't have much of this colour. I do have a couple of full skeins, or no, I have a couple of minis that would be similar, but not full skeins. So, sorry, quick interruption there. So I'm not entirely sure where I got up to. But basically, because the fox socks have the spots down the foot, what I'm thinking, because I don't have enough of this colour, is that I might do this one as the foot, and then maybe keep using this one as the heel and toe, or maybe do this one as a contrasting heel and toe, to just kind of make the yarn go a bit further. But I think that one matches the colours enough that I think it'll work. For both of those ones, I have ChiaoGoo 2.5mm circular needles. I have 2 pairs, so I'm going to put one with each of those to get going. But I also have, I prefer doing the cuff when it's just one colour on a magic loop or something. So I have that I may do the cuff and then switch it over that way. I also have pulled out my 2.5mm ChiaoGoo DPNs, partly because it is in this little needle cozy that I've made that had foxes on it. You can see a little fox face down here, very autumny, so I thought I'd put them in with the fox socks. So actually I might cast on using them, change for the colour work, and then go back to these for the heel and the foot, just because I thought that was fun to put that all together. That's 1, 2, 3. The next one that I have pulled out to do is this one that I actually already had in a bag and have not started. It is, I believe, let me just show you quickly what all of these yarns are. This one is an Opal Beauty 4-ply, and it is colour, there we go, 11304. So that one will be fun. I've got the Fable for the orange, which is colour 110. This one I dyed myself, and this one I think came from an advent swap, so neither of those are available. I showed you that one. The beige for the squirrel socks is colour 101, and that's Drops Fable as well. This one came from an advent swap, and this one, I think it's Rosarios is the brand, but I don't have the label, and it's a scrap that I've used from something else. So there you go. And this one, which I did say is Black Wattle Yarn and Fibre Stringy Bark. It's Melly's sock base. They don't dye their own yarn anymore. They do have a shop, but they don't have hand-dyed yarn that they've dyed. Someone else has bought their colours and has been still dyeing Black Wattle colours, but I don't know any more about that. So this next one, Christmas socks, is this. This one is also Black Wattle yarn and fibre in the Grevillea base. Cannot remember the colourway name, and it's a scrap from other socks that I've made. And I'm going to use that for the contrast heel, at least for this pair. This one is Trekking XXL, colour 753. And so that will be one of the Christmas themed socks. I'm thinking I might do like a basic, like knit 2, purl 2, broken rib or something for this one, but I haven't decided fully. And I think it'll be stripes, but like spotted stripes already. So it'll already be quite a busy sock. So I don't want to add too much busyness to it. And then to make it up to 5, I thought I need to choose one more pair of socks. So I have this basket, which is full of Christmas yarns that I didn't knit this year. And so I thought maybe if I pull this one out, because it's already wound up, I don't have to wind up yarn if it's in a ball. Like I will just work from it here if I can't be bothered to wind it up. But I do prefer it wound up. So this one is Hobby Christmas Sock Haul, and this one is colour 5. Hobby Christmas Sock Haul, colour 5 is this one. So I might just grab that one and do a contrast heel with this. Again, I don't always do contrast heels, but I thought that was a fun colourway, and this is just one that I dyed myself I had an extra mini when I was dyeing up my Advents from last year, 2025. And so I had this colour was already made up. So I could make myself a full skein of this, and I'm really tempted. I love this colour. So yes, contrast teal for that. So that will be sock number 5. Can I get them all started today? I have no idea. I will at least try and get the one wound up and get some cuffs done for the colourwork ones. But right now I am going out, so I'm going to actually take this one, which is all wound up and ready to go in my little fox bag even. Not for the fox one, it's too small for everything else. So I'm just going to pop this into my bag. It has needles, it has project markers, it has everything I need. So I'm going to pop that into my bag and maybe even cast on while we're out. That was a lot. And that's 5 out of the 15 that are counting towards day 10. Now, I have no doubt that I will get a lot of these done. Am I absolutely certain I will get all of them done before the end of the year? No, I'm not. But I am excited because this is like, I don't have to think about what socks I'm going to be starting for a while, because I have a lot of Christmas ones and they're all ready to go, as well as all these other ones to work on. I'm so excited. All right, I will take you with me and check back in with you later. Bye. Hello, I am back. It is 10:07 p.m. and I've had a lovely day. We ended up going out to the shops. We went to the Bolesławiec shop, which is Polish pottery. Absolutely beautiful. My friend was able to buy some things for herself and friends in Australia. I picked up a gift for someone myself. We went to another shop. We had lunch. It was a very full day. It was a very lovely day. And then when we came home, my friend made dinner for us. It was great. So I got to sit down and cast on my second sock while she was cooking dinner. And then after dinner, I put the kids to bed, did some washing, and then we watched Shaun of the Dead, which is a comedy about zombies. There is a lot of language in it, so if language is something you're not a fan of, I would stay away from it. But it is just a bit of a comedic take on a zombie movie. So we watched that one, and then during that I cast on 2 more socks, and when it finished I did start the 5th one. So they are all started, and I'm so excited to share with you. It did kind of take me back to the 12 days of rib in that I've done ribbing for 5 socks. So I will show you what I've done. I did also cake up the yarn for the sock that I needed to cake up yarn for, and while I had the winder out, I caked up the last 3 colours for my advent knitting. I do like yarn that is hand wound better than I like small cakes of yarn. However, it's much quicker to cake it up with everything if it's already set up. So I just did that, got that out of the way so I could keep working on that as I have a chance to. But yeah, so I'm excited to share with you the patterns I've chosen for the ones that I didn't have already, show you what I've done on them. And yeah, I have made a few changes to all the patterns, I think. So let's go. I'm just going to pick them up as I pick them up. This is a project bag, which is the actual project bag that I made while I was filming the tutorial. So if you are interested in making a project bag that is this size, I do have a tutorial linked below, and I do talk in it how to change the size if you want to do a different size. But this is the bag, and it beautifully fits a skein of yarn, and in this case I have a mini in here as well. I did cake this one up. That is lovely that it's caked up. And so this is what I have done. Ooh. Uh-oh. Just pulled out a needle. A needle that I needed, not the fake needle, not the spare needle. 2 seconds. All right. We're good. All the stitches are picked up again. I do normally have needle stoppers, but I think I only have 2. I think I only have 2, and they're currently being used elsewhere. So, whoops. This is what I've done on this one. It's not very much. It is only 5 rows, 5 rounds, but it is a start. And for me, a start is all I really need. This is, I think, self-striping yarn. It may be a bit more of a mixed-up pattern than straight stripes, but I am planning to either do straight knitting or to do a broken rib, so 2 by 2, like 2 by 2 rib, where I do 2 rows of rib and 2 rows of plain. I've done that recently. I really enjoyed it, so I thought I might do that again for this one, but I will see when I get to the striping what it does. If it's a very regular one, then I may change into a different pattern. If it's a mixed up one, then I think I'll probably stick with that. The reason I'm saying that is if it's a very straight 2 by 2, a very straight stripy one, then I will want to do a knit row for the first row of each new colour so that I don't end up with lots of purl bumps. If it's a mixed up mumble jumble anyway, then I won't care about that as much. But if it is like a 5 rows of this, 5 rows of this, 5 rows from this, I think I would rather do something that will allow that to shine. So I will have a look. I have a few other ideas if it is that. But otherwise, I'm following the Vanilla Socks by Cave the Crazy Sock Lady. And I'm doing that one in size medium. I believe that's correct, yes. The next one that I have started is in this bag, just a little bit bigger. It is nicely packed, this one, because it has 2 full skeins plus extras. And this one I do have a needle stopper for, and it is also quite early on. This is the one that I was doing while my friend was cooking dinner. And let's have a look. Funnily enough, also 5 rows. So nice early days for these ones. This one I did decide I'm going to do the cuff in this colour, the cuff, heel and toe, and swap for the leg to do the patterning for the foxes. So I'm just going to pop that back in there. I have printed out the patterns. I did double check and I did not already have them printed, so I've printed that out. This is the first one that I cast on today. We went out, no way, is that going to be 5'2"? Oh no, that's even less. We went out, like I said, and we had lunch out. And so while we were sitting down for lunch, my friend went and got her food while I sat with the kids. And then I went and got food for me and the kids while she sat with the kids. And so this is what I got done. Very, very baby sock while I was waiting for her to return, and then while I was waiting for the kids to finish eating. So casting on and 6 rounds. I did consider getting this out again when I got home, and I was like, you know what, let's see if I can get all of them done, and we'll come back to this if that's what I decide to do. But I just did not have time. This one is, I suspect it is striped between the red and the green, but I will be doing the same as I mentioned for the last Christmas one, which will be 2 rows plain, 2 rows of 2x2 rib. But putting that into K of the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla sock pattern. So that was 3. This is number 4. Actually, let's do this one next. This one's number 4. This is the last one that I cast on. And I have done the tiniest bit. 2.5 rows, I believe. So let's show you that side because there's a few more done. Nope. There we go. I don't know if you'll even be able to see the pattern there because this one is not a 2x2 rib. This one is a twisted rib, but it's not a 1x1 twisted rib. It's a 3x1 twisted rib. And this one is the pattern that I chose from 52 Weeks of Socks. So let me show you the pattern that I have chosen. It is called Gerst. It is number 34 in the book. And that is the sock. So it's a twisted rib pattern. I chose it because it kind of looks like stringy bark, because this is the stringy bark sock set. Now, I have to say, I did look it up because I mentioned that I thought stringy bark must be the tree that turns orange every now and then. It's not. That's the Angophora. Angophora is the one that sometimes is pale pink, sometimes is white color, and sometimes is orange. And it is more orange, like a brighter orange than this when it's orange. It is bright orange. It's an amazing tree. This is indeed stringy bark, which is not the Angophora. And it was dueling out in my head because I couldn't remember the name for Angophora. The orange made me think of it. But stringy bark, it is, actually, I'll see if I can put a picture up here even of Angophora and stringy bark. Stringy bark, the bark strings. And so you might have really pale at the top and the bottom half will be just covered in string or just the whole thing. But you get these pops of orange when bark has been peeled back or kind of coming through. Yeah, it's actually really cool. So I did have a look and figured out what I was thinking and what I was talking about. Stringy bark, not Angophora. But still an Australian tree. Beautiful, beautiful tree. And so I chose the Gerst, I'm going to say Gerste pattern because it has those stripes going down. And so in my mind, that was emulating the stripes of the stringy bark. And they're not continuous stripes, they're broken, which also has that kind of feel. So I thought that would be really fun. However, I have 2 minis for this sock set and I wanted to use, heel and toe, no, cuff and toe for one and heel for the other. And the pattern is toe up, which means I could do the toe in a different color easily, but doing the heel in a different color would be harder. So I could have done the toe in one and the cuff in another, but I really wanted to do a contrast heel. So what I'm doing is I'm turning it into top down. I'm simplifying it a little bit and I'm turning it into top down. And because it's not a 2x2 rib, it's not going to have as much stretch as my normal rib. So I've gone up a size for the cuff. And the cuff does flow into the patterning of everything else. So I don't want to change it there So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the cuff and the leg a size up from what I would normally do for this person, because again, it's not going to have that stretch. And then when I go into the heel, I'm going to do the same amount of repeats as I would for a size medium heel, and then decrease extra on the foot until I get to the right stitch count for a medium. So it's going to be a little bit more playing in terms of the pattern, in terms of the base design, but because it's now my normal vanilla sock pattern, not my pattern, the normal pattern that I do, which is vanilla socks on Magic Loop, it'll just be much, much simpler for me because I can just put this pattern into what I'm already doing. So I'm pretty happy with that. Only just started. That was the last one. I was ready to go to bed. The movie had finished. And I was like, I just want to start number 5 because if it's cast on, I will pick it up and work on it. If it's not cast on, I won't. So that is started. And the pattern is simple enough that I don't even think I need to take this book with me anywhere. To do it as it's written in the book, it's a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to simplify it and do it, and I don't think I need to take the book, but it is helpful to have it. And I did look through. I started by going, is there anything that is tree related? And there is one called Branches, which is, in fact, here you go, Branches, but I didn't want to do lace for this one. And there's another one called 3 Leaves, which is this one, which I did consider, and then I saw it was toe up, and I was like, again. And then there was another one called Riverbed, but that was DK weight. So I was like, I'll just look for something that is kind of what I wanted the vibe of. And so I'm very happy that I found Gert, not really sure how you say that one. It is by Gerst. It's by Verena Kors, but I don't know how to say the actual pattern name. So that was my last cast on. This is my second last cast on, and I could have done more on my last one if I'd put this one down earlier. So I have at the moment 2 on Magic Loop and 2 on DPNs. This one I started on DPNs and I'm now on to 9-inch circular. So I still haven't got much to show you, but I do have a full cuff. I've done 2 rows of the plain leg. I mean, it's not just straight knitting. One has increases and the next one is straight knitting. So I've done that and I've put it onto 9-inch circulars. So I am ready for the colour work. So this is the acorn socks or the squirrel socks, whatever they're called. And yes, now I'm on 9-inch circular. When I start the colour work, I will do it inside out, which to do that, I just go flip, push the cuff through, and then as I'm knitting, I still knit with the needles towards me, but I'm looking at the inside, not the outside. And that just means that the yarn will carry around the outside of the circle instead of the inside, and it just gives more stretch and evenness as I'm knitting. Also, I have found, not everyone will find that, I'm sure. With this one, as well as the squirrel one, I have also just adapted the pattern. So I've changed the amount of rows and I've changed the cuff to 2x2 rib just to make it what I normally make it. It means that I don't have to think as much. And because I'm doing a contrast cuff, I'm already kind of changing it because neither of them have contrast cuff. So I just went, I'm going to do 2x2 rib. I'm going to do it, do the same amount of rows that I normally do, which is 14, which for one of them it did say 14. The other one I think was 10. So I changed it for one of them. And that's not vanilla socks. 14 is just what I do. That's not even what it says in that other pattern. And I'm going to, I think, do the striping. I think they're both striping on the foot for both of them as well. So it will just be the motif on the leg. Then I'll go back to the contrast heel, do a striped foot, contrast toe. So those ones, again, I'm just simplifying them. I really want to make the patterns, but I'm using what I have on hand to do it, and yeah, making them a little bit simpler as well as using what I have. So that one, I hadn't quite finished the cuff. I think it was 2 rounds from the cuff being finished when the movie finished. And I thought I should put it down and start the other ones. And then I was like, no, I just want to finish the cuff, get them onto 9-inch circulars, do like at least 1 round of the main colour, and have them ready for the next step. So that is ready for the next step, and I'm very, very excited. I did think, I've got day 10 here, and I'm not sure which one to put it on because I have 5 different projects. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get this one out and put it on here, because the rest of them have, is that right? 5 or fewer rows done. That's not very much. So I'm going to put it on this one and be like, look, this is the one that I had actually done a little bit extra on by the end of day 1. There you go. Day 10 has been tagged. I will probably put one of these, probably this one. It's already in my like little carry on the go bag. I'll probably just take this one with me when I go around and do stuff. And then the other ones I'll just kind of put into rotation as I can. The colour work, if I can sit down and do the legs on those ones, then the rest will be quite simple. And even the patterned one is a very simple pattern. I don't think it'll be a problem to take that around with me either. But we'll see. So I think that is all I have for you today. 5 pairs of socks are cast on, 5 out of 15. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. If you're new, welcome. I should have said that at the beginning, but thank you for coming and joining us. And of course, if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. It is great to see you again. I would love to hear what you've been working on. It's been really fun reading comments about what people have started as either 12 cast-ons or are working on, even though they're not doing 12 cast-ons. It's been really fun reading where everyone's from. I've had not every continent, no one from Antarctica said hi, but I think most of the other continents I've had someone say hi from, so that was really lovely. If you want to put which continent, which country you're in, I would love to read it. But yeah, let me know what you're working on, what you're doing while you're watching, and I will see you hopefully again tomorrow for another cast on. I have how many left? 14? 14 left in here. 2 more to pick. I am pretty excited, and I don't think I said this yet, but I was tempted to put something in there 2 days ago that said Christmas socks, because I knew that I had this one and I knew I had another socks in there, but I really wanted to do Christmas socks. And so when this came out and I realised that that was basically what that was, I got pretty excited. So there you go. 14 left. Let's see what that is tomorrow. But for right now, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye.